Quick take, Kirk Cousins threw for a career-high 509 yards, set a new Falcons single-game record on Thursday night to lead the comeback over the Buccaneers in OT. Canty, how real are the Falcons?
They have to be taken seriously as contenders in the NFC. I mean, them signing Kirk Cousins this offseason put them in a position where they can guarantee themselves the best quarterback play in the division, and that's exactly what they got. If you got the best quarterback in the division, it goes a long ways to winning the division. And if you're talking about this Falcons team, and specifically that offense led by Kirk Cousins in a home playoff game, that should scare anybody that's in the wild card round. So I would say this, we gotta take the Atlanta Falcons serious as a contender in the NFC.
Molly, I feel like Kirk Cousins proved something last night. What he proved was it was the first time in his life he'd ever swag surfed.
Stop.
Look at that.
That is 100%.
Why look like, hey?
Up high.
It's exotic, and hypnotic, and I'm rocking, and I like it. It's like, swag surfing is down here, by the way.
It's low.
It's down here. But we're about
He was up top.
Well, he just got to Atlanta. He'll get there.
Well, we're about
Just got
2, 3 more wins away from him leaning with it and rocking with it.
All right, we'll keep it rolling, guys.
Yep. We have to learn to be fair. Some people have it, some people don't. Let's manage expectations. Kirk Cousins is not Elle Duncan. He don't have that kind of swag.
I tell you what he do.
He's having a good time.
Hey, I tell
He's
you what,
leaning
though,
in. It's adorable.
The thing is, he's going to be beloved for being authentic, though, and being himself. And if you play well, that's all that matters. The Atlanta Falcons' best year was with Matt Ryan, who played from the pocket. With Matt Ryan, who wasn't part of the culture, but ingratiated himself into the locker room. And I think Kirk Cousins is finding a way to do that.
Absolutely.
Just really quick, because I had Himbo pull this number. The thing that I was talking about that Matt Ryan gave the Falcons in his heyday was the opportunity to always be in it. And when he was there, they had 33 fourth quarter comebacks, which was second most over that span, and 42 game-winning drives. And as I said before, the Falcons have had 3 games now. All of their wins, they've been losing within the last minute of the game. That is something that they paid for Kirk Cousins to bring and something that is giving Falcons fans hope.
Kirk Cousins, most game-winning drives since 2021 in the NFL.
Earning the 180. I've heard ego game. That was Dan Orlowski. Revenge game, whatever you want to call it. Get your popcorn ready when Stefon Diggs and the 3-1 Houston Texans play host to his former team, Josh Allen, in the 3-1 Bills. Here's Diggs on his mindset on this matchup.
Block out the noise. A lot of other people are going to feel away or have a lot to say about X, Y, Z, and I don't mind. I'm not mad at it. I'm trying to go 1-0. Obviously, they're a good team. They got a lot of guys that can fly around on the defense, but they're a really good team, so look forward to it.
I got a lot of love for him. I still do. The things that he did for me in my career and the things that he did in the Buffalo Bill uniform won't be forgotten anytime soon, especially from me. So that's how I look at it. At the same time, going into year 7, I understand the business and the aspect of what this league is. And, again, I'm just trying to focus on what we got going in this building.
Elle, is this more of a revenge game for Allen or Diggs?
What? The scorned lover. It's always the revenge game for the scorned lover, and the scorned lover in this case is Stefon Diggs. There's a really great article that's up from our colleague on ESPN.com, Jeremy Fowler, and he just talks about the relationship and the correlation of Josh Allen in his 3rd year and sort of the steps he made when Stefon Diggs came in, right? And no doubt a lot of that was because of the relationship that they had, where we watched his QBR get better, where we watched his touchdown to interception ratio get better. And they had that chemistry. But the question that was asked was, did Stefon Diggs make Josh Allen better or vice versa? And we are seeing this year the answer to that, which is maybe neither, but that Josh Allen is now making, it's no disrespect to receivers named Khalil Shakir, but come on, right? Like, this is who he's dealing with. And I think that we've already been proven that with a Keon Coleman, with the Khalil Shakir, and with those weapons, that Josh Allen is still thriving. This is fully on Stefon Diggs, who's not as productive right now on that Texans offense as he was with the Bills, and Josh Allen having a fantastic season with him gone. All of the pressure at this point is on Diggs.
Well, I mean, Diggs is still having a decent season. He's caught over 20 balls, 200 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. There are just more mouths to feed on that Texans offense. I'm not going to boil it all down to individual productivity in terms of his impact on his team having success. But I disagree with you. I think this is more of a revenge game for Josh Allen because he's the one that has more to prove. Like, I know Steph Diggs is a good wide receiver. I saw that in Minnesota. I saw that in Buffalo. I'm seeing that now in Houston. We have yet to see proof of concept that Josh Allen is an elite quarterback without Stefon Diggs. We got a 4-game sample size, and let me tell you what, his most recent work They got smoked in Baltimore. It's the first time they lost by double digits, him and Sean McDermott, in the last 2 years. So I'm curious to see what happens moving forward in terms of what this Bills offense can evolve into now that they've taken the approach of addition by subtraction by getting rid of Steph Diggs. And you know how I know that was the organizational philosophy? Because Josh Allen let the cat out of the bag after the Monday night win against the Jacksonville Jaguars when he said, you know, it's a fun and wonderful thing when you have a bunch of guys that don't care about the stats. They don't care about who that gets the touchdowns. That's what Josh Allen said. How can we not look at that as a veiled shot at Steph Diggs? So to me, this is more of a revenge game for Josh Allen because he's the one that wanted to get rid of Steph Diggs. He's the one that has to make it work without him.
Well, honestly, what he should have said at the last game, it ain't no fun when ain't nobody catching touchdowns, because that's what happened against the Baltimore Ravens. At some point, it's possible that he could be sitting next to one of his homeboys and be like, she don't look that good, huh? She don't look as good as she don't look as good as when she was with me. Like, yeah, I know she got a BBL and she got her hair done, but she ain't fine as she used to be, huh? And the homeboy's gonna have to lie to him, right? And you know, I'd be like, nah, dog. And I'd be like, she. But when you think about where we were with Josh Allen last week, it's all you need to know about his weapons. I get it. Stefon Diggs is not even the number one in Houston. The number one wide receiver in Houston is Nico Collins, who to me is ascended to be one of the best wide receivers in all of the leagues. And everything that you're hearing in that building is Stefon Diggs is comfortable in the position that he's in. I asked him to come on the pivot in training camp. And you know what he told me? He's like, I don't want to do that right now. He's like, because I want that C on my chest. He seemed to be saying he portrayed when he was in Buffalo. And the reason to me that it's a bigger game for Josh Allen is because Josh Allen has to prove that he can do his job no matter who's around him. Stefon Diggs did the job with Kirk Cousins. Stefon Diggs did the job with Josh Allen and helped Josh Allen ascend to where now we call him one of the best in the game. And he's doing the job that's asked of him in Houston. What we haven't seen is Josh Allen for a year make everybody else better without having that guy. We haven't seen last week when it was down, put your Superman cape on, go get the ball to Keon, go get the ball to Khalil, go make it happen to Dawson, go make it happen to Dalton. We haven't seen him do it. He has to prove that this week with his guy standing on the other side wearing number 1.
Well, I don't disagree with anything everybody said. My whole point is that it's definitely the answer to this question is Diggs, because Diggs wanted out of Buffalo. He said he wanted out of Buffalo. I came on the air last year, and everybody was raking me through the coals because I said Stefon Diggs wants out. Well, and then, he denied it. Well, what the hell are you expecting to do while he's in a Buffalo Bills uniform and stuck there for the season? Admit it. He wasn't going to admit that. He been wanted out. And he was frustrated because he no longer believed in the Bills and he no longer believed in Josh Allen when it counts. And we saw the histrionics on the sideline in playoff competition. We saw some of the things he said. We saw some of his behavior. We saw some of the things where he was conspicuous with his silence. And then he departs from Buffalo and he ends up in Houston. And you got a quarterback like C.J. Stroud and you got Nico Collins and Tank Dell and all of these brothers to play with. And you're looking at yourself in a better situation. But then, as you pointed out, Chris Canty, what happens? Josh Allen, after I think it was the Monday night game, he came out in the press conference and he talked about how much better life was when you can spread the football around and you don't have anybody jockeying for more claim, more receptions, more whatever than everybody else. That's a veiled shot at Stefon Diggs. Everybody and their grandmama knew that. And so you have the opportunity to go against him and show him firsthand what he's missing now that you are gone. I certainly think that is something that Stefon Diggs will salivate over the opportunity to pull off. Now, whether you want to call it revenge or, as Dan Orlovsky with his corny self would say, ego or whatever, it's something. It's something. It's something. And it's not just a football game for Stefon Diggs. He wants to send a message, and Josh Allen wants to as well. But definitely the answer to this is Diggs.
Listen. You guys were saying Josh Allen was like streaking towards an MVP in the first 3 weeks of the season. I actually predicted he would have a bad game because it was all going too perfect. He found himself down big early against the Ravens. They dominated time of possession because they ran it down their throat, and he was trying to do entirely too much. But what's been the one thing that has always marked Josh Allen for his whole career? His decision-making and his turnovers, and he still doesn't have any. And he's already told you that's because he's no longer trying to force it to Stefon Diggs. Stefon Diggs wanted out. The Bills wanted him out. The revenge solely lays at his feet, because I think that for the Bills last week was a bit anomalous.
And the other piece is this, though. Like, I've had quote-unquote revenge games, right? When the Commanders, were Washington at the time, signed Adam Archuleta and tell me, no, we want you back, but for league minimum. That was a revenge game, right? When I played them, I felt some type of way because you told me, you told me I wasn't good enough, right? When I played the Giants again, because Tom Coughlin told me, you know, they play football in Canada, right? And they play arena ball, and maybe you can focus on special teams.
Did he really say that? Wait, he really said that to you?
Yeah, right? Like, you know, hey, I don't know if you're big enough and physical enough to handle 16 games at the free safety position, but it was his honest opinion. I was cool with that. But when I play him, I'm trying to put everybody to sleep. These people ain't tell Stefon Diggs he can't play. They know how good he was. They felt it was better for, I guess, the organization, for themselves. He felt it was better.
Wait a minute.
So that's a...
I'm enjoying these revenge game stories, RC.
Yeah.
I got to ask you, no. RC, you said something. I got to ask you a question in all seriousness. And this is directly for you, knowing your personality. Somebody has no questions about your game, like you saying they didn't have any questions about Stefon Diggs. But they had questions about your temperament, about your character, whether or not you were really all in as being a member of their squad and what have you. You trying to tell me you wouldn't take that personal?
I take everything personal. You know me. You asking me that? I take everything personal. Everything.
You need to read the four agreements. That's the number one rule. Don't take anything personal.
Y'all,
that's why I asked him that question.
Don't take the bad stuff personal.
But
when it comes to what I do with this work in life, I don't care what you say.
Well, last time I checked, I think if you look at Stefon Diggs' personality, he might not be as loquacious as you are because he doesn't have to, because he's still playing and you're in a different profession now. But the fact of the matter is, when you look at him, I would dare say his personality is very similar to yours. And I think you know that. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you.
Do you have any revenge games?
Hold on, Molly. In light of that reality, RC, how do you think he's taking this weekend's game?
Oh, I know Stefon Diggs wants to go crazy. But the conversations for us are going to be different. If Stefon Diggs only has 7 catches, 77 yards in the tub, we aren't going to sit here and say he didn't play well or Stefon Diggs didn't do what he needed to do because he's in a different position. If Josh Allen doesn't play well, if Josh Allen doesn't go out and win this game because he distributed the ball to his wide receivers, we're going to say and look and be like, okay, how much is he missing number one in these last 2 weeks? I think that's the difference in the way that I see the revenge game. But when we're talking about the individual player, hell yeah, Steph wants to go out and ball. Of course he does.
Yeah, I took the revenge games personally. I mean, I went from the Cowboys to the New York Giants, and I took every opportunity to fold Tony Romo up like an accordion. I remember I got a personal foul for roughing the passer, and I looked at Romo and I said, that's 15 grand well spent, bro. I still didn't get over. Listen, I won a Super Bowl with the Giants, and I still didn't get over the Cowboys not giving me my bag. I'm out there doing DeMarcus wearing sack dance and some more.
You was petty too.
Absolutely, I'm gonna be petty.